Most riders don't pick their bike, they pick an identity. You bought the dream version of yourself. The track weapon you saw in a promo? The rugged adventurer you imagined in traffic? Or the laid-back cruiser guy you thought would magically appear after buying a leather vest? But here's the truth. Half of us are riding the wrong bike for who we actually are. Not because we suck, because we evolved. Your habits changed, your body changed, your life changed, but your bike didn't. So now you're tiptoeing on a 600-pound giraffe at stoplights when you should be carving canyons on something light. Or you're stuck fixing carbs on a bike that hates you just because it looked cool on Pinterest. Let's fix that. Here are 12 brutally honest rules for the bike you should be riding, but probably aren't. Prepare to feel attacked and maybe liberated. Number 1. If you only ride on Sundays, you don't need a race replica. You love motorcycles, but between work, weather, and general life chaos, you only get to ride once a week. Maybe on a sunny Sunday for a few hours. So why the hell are you riding a fire-breathing superbike built for MotoGP? Let's be honest, your R1 doesn't even know what 10,000 RPM feels like. You've never leaned it far enough to scuff the chicken strips, and most of the time, you're in third gear doing 45 miles an hour behind a Prius. Race replicas are not daily-friendly machines. They're uncomfortable, aggressive, high-strung, and overheating in traffic. They punish you for not riding like a maniac. And unless you're hitting track days regularly, you're just babysitting a hyperactive dog that never gets walked. What you actually need is a street bike with torque down low, comfort for the real world, and power you can use, not just fantasize about. A naked sport bike, a fast standard, hell, even a sport touring bike with upright bars and usable mirrors. You think the R1 makes you look cool, but most experienced riders see it and think, another guy who watched Isle of Man highlights and made a bad decision. Park the ego. You'll have more fun when your bike isn't trying to kill you. Number 2. If you commute daily, you deserve a bike that starts every time. Let's paint the scene. It's raining, you're late, your gloves are soaked, and your classic bike just coughed, wheezed, and died halfway out of the driveway. Again. Look, that vintage cafe build with the custom tail and wrapped headers looks amazing on Instagram, but in real life, it's a diva. And divas don't belong in rush hour traffic. Daily riders need one thing above all else: reliability. Not power, not style, not even performance. Just the confidence that when you hit that starter button, the bike fires up and gets you there every damn time. If you're commuting 5 days a week, your motorcycle isn't a toy. It's transport. And that means you need fuel injection, a comfortable seat, decent weather protection, and a charging port that actually works. You need LED headlights that aren't attached with zip ties. You need ABS that isn't just your shoes. We get it. You want to stand out, but riding a bike that won't start in the cold doesn't make you a rebel. It just makes you wet, angry, and increasingly late to work. So do yourself a favor. Let the unreliable build be your weekend project. And for the Monday grind, get a workhorse. Your sanity and your boss will thank you. Number 3. If you're over 40 and still love speed, try a sport touring bike. You've still got the itch. The thrill of a good throttle roll. That tight corner that makes your heart jump. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let's be honest. Your knees don't bend like they used to, and your wrists start complaining after 20 minutes on a Supersport. So why are you still pretending a GSXR is the answer? Sport touring bikes exist for one reason: to give you most of the fun without all of the pain. You still get the horsepower, you still get the sharp handling, you still get to blow past traffic like a jet fighter. But now, you also get heated grips, a real seat, upright ergonomics, and suspension that doesn't turn your spine into gravel. And the best part, no one will think you've slowed down. They'll just think you finally figured it out. Because you have. You're not giving up by switching to a sport tourer. You're upgrading. You're stretching your rides from 30 minutes to 3 hours without regretting it. You're going just as fast, but doing it with less ibuprofen. And trust me, when you pull into the lot after a long ride, still smiling, still mobile, and still eager for round 2, nobody's gonna miss your R6. Not even you. Number 4. If you only ride 200 miles a year, stop buying brand new bikes. Let's do some math you've been avoiding. You just spent 14 grand on a brand new bike. It's been sitting in your garage for 11 months, has 230 miles on the clock, and the tires still have nubs on them. You basically bought a sculpture with a fuel tank. And the worst part, it's depreciating like an overripe banana. If you're only riding once in a blue moon, a brand new bike is not a flex. It's a financial faceplant. That mint showroom shine fades faster than your riding schedule. And for what? So you can brag about first owner status while your battery quietly dies from neglect? Here's the smarter move. Buy something used. A few years old, already broken in, already scratched up once or twice. You'll save thousands. You won't flinch every time a rock hits the paint, and you won't feel like a clown when you realize your bike costs more than your annual mileage. A well-loved bike wants to be ridden. A new bike wants to be paid off. Until you're riding weekly, screw the dealership dopamine hit. Craigslist is your new best friend, or Facebook Marketplace if you're brave. The point is, your garage isn't a museum. Stop furnishing it like one. Number 5. If you love tinkering more than riding, admit it and get a project bike. There's a certain breed of rider whose garage smells more like WD-40 than gasoline, because the bike never actually runs long enough to heat up. You've got 6 different torque wrenches, 3 half-finished wiring jobs, and a bookmarked forum thread from 2008 explaining carb tuning for your obscure Italian twin. And you love it. Which is great, unless you keep pretending you're a rider when really you're a builder. You spend 90% of your time wrenching, adjusting, repainting, tweaking, and maybe, just maybe, you'll ride to the gas station once a month to make sure it still idles. It's time to stop lying to yourself. You don't need reliability. You don't need modern features. You need a box of spare parts, a ratchet set, and a winter project that keeps you up till 2 a.m. searching eBay for discontinued fairings. And that's fine. Not all love for motorcycles needs to happen at 60 miles an hour. So embrace it. Don't buy something new just to let it rot. Don't pretend you care about ABS when your current bike doesn't even have a working speedo. Grab something weird, something broken, something with character, and love it back to life. You're not less of a rider, you're just a different kind. A greasier kind. Number 6. If you're short, stop suffering on tall ADV bikes. ADV bikes are great if you're built like a Powerline. But if you're under, say, 5'8", and you're tiptoeing at every red light like you're sneaking into your ex's house, something's wrong. Why are you punishing yourself? Yeah, tall bikes have ground clearance and travel and presence. But you're not Dakar bound. You're trying to get through the grocery store parking lot without toppling over like a sedated giraffe. No, lowering links and shaving the seat don't fix everything. Now you've messed with geometry and you still can't flatfoot. Riding shouldn't feel like a circus act every time you stop. It shouldn't give you shin bruises from controlled dismounts. And it definitely shouldn't scare the crap out of you on steep inclines or off-camber stops. There are hundreds of bikes that are just as fun, just as capable, and way more manageable for shorter riders. Mid-sized tourers, scramblers, even cruisers. Bikes where your feet touch the ground and your dignity stays intact. This isn't about height shaming, it's about common sense. The best bike is the one you're confident on, not the one that looks tall and rugged in Instagram ads. Because no adventure begins with you falling over in a Starbucks drive-thru. Number 7. If you've never left the city, why are you riding a cruiser? Let's be honest, cruisers are built for long, open roads. Sweeping highways, lazy sunsets, not bumper-to-bumper traffic on your way to the office. Yet, here you are, wrestling 300 kilos of chrome through downtown like it's your emotional support Harley. And for what? To roast your thighs at every red light? To do three-point turns in tight alleys? To feel every pothole directly in your spine like nature intended? Cruisers look cool. They feel cool. But that's not the point. The point is, you're suffering for no reason. Those forward controls don't belong in traffic. That wheelbase wasn't made for U-turns. And if your exhaust sets off every car alarm in the parking garage, maybe it's not the best urban companion. If your life is city lights and short hops, try something designed for it. A nimble naked, a commuter-friendly scooter, hell, even a small displacement retro bike with some charm. You'll thank yourself every time you squeeze through tight traffic or find a parking spot the size of a shoebox. Cruisers are awesome on the right roads, but in the city, that beautiful V-twin might as well be a tattoo. Great for image, questionable for function. Number 8. If you ride like you're still 20, your insurance rates will remind you you're not. There's a certain kind of rider who refuses to age. You know the type. Mid-40s, maybe mid-50s. Knees popping like bubble wrap, but still dragging knees like they're auditioning for MotoGP. And hey, respect. Staying sharp is one thing, but here's the issue. Your reflexes aren't what they used to be. Your body takes longer to heal, and you're no longer invisible to insurance companies. If you're still riding a fire-breathing leader bike like it's 2003 and you're chasing trophies, don't act surprised when your premiums cost more than your bike payment. Companies do the math. Older rider plus high-risk machine equals we're going to need a bigger deductible. This isn't a lecture. This is your reality check. If your riding style hasn't evolved, but your body and life responsibilities have, something's got to give. And usually, it's your collarbone or your wallet. Not saying you can't ride fast, just ride smart. There are bikes that give you adrenaline and forgiveness. Think middleweight naked, sport tours, or even high-spec adventure bikes with real-world performance and electronic safety nets. You don't have to slow down, but maybe grow up a little. Because nothing screams midlife crisis like trying to outrun your own mortality on a bike that's too fast for your context. Number 9. If you keep talking about going on a long trip, get an ADV or a Tourer already. We all know that rider, talking nonstop about doing a big trip this year. Maybe across the country, maybe through the Alps, maybe just out of town for once. They've got the dream, but somehow their garage says otherwise. Because that dream is sitting next to a naked 600 with 120 km fuel range, no luggage, a seat that feels like a breadstick, and suspension tuned for Instagram, not endurance. And every year, the trip never happens. You're not lazy. You're just not equipped. Long trips require the right bike. Something that doesn't punish you for 8-hour days in the saddle. Something with wind protection, fuel capacity, storage, comfort, reliability, hell, maybe even cruise control. If you're serious about traveling, stop pretending your little Street Fighter will turn into a Goldwing with enough saddle time. It won't. The universe rewards preparation, not daydreaming. And no, it doesn't have to be a $30,000 mega tour. There are plenty of mid-range ADV bikes and touring-ready models that can eat miles without eating your soul. Bottom line, if the road is calling you, answer properly. Don't keep ghosting it on a bike that's allergic to distance. Put your money where your mouth is and your butt where the comfort is. Number 10. If you hate chain maintenance, stop buying chain drive bikes. There's no shame in it. Some riders are born with chain lube in their veins, others not so much. If the sight of a dirty rear sprocket makes you sigh like you've just been asked to paint a cathedral, then why? Why do you keep buying chain-driven bikes? Chain drives are great, lightweight, efficient, affordable, but they also demand attention. Cleaning, adjusting, lubing, checking slack, aligning wheels. It's a relationship. And you clearly want a one-night stand. Modern belts and shafts aren't the ancient compromises they used to be. Belts are smooth, quiet, and practically maintenance-free. Shaft drives? Bulletproof. Perfect for commuters, tourers, and people who think tensioning a chain sounds like medieval torture. You say you ride to clear your mind, not to kneel in a garage scrubbing gunk with a toothbrush. That's fair. Just don't sabotage your own peace with a drivetrain that needs weekly therapy. Match your bike to your habits, not your imaginary version of yourself. Because if you hate working on chains, guess what? You're going to ignore it. And an ignored chain becomes a snap chain, and a snap chain becomes a very expensive lesson. Stop lying to yourself. You're not a lube guy, and that's okay. Number 11. If you're always two up, get a bike that actually likes it. There's riding two up, and then there's surviving two up. If your passenger seat is a glorified yoga mat the size of a credit card, you're not sharing the ride. You're running a torture chamber on wheels. And if your rear suspension sags like a hammock every time your partner hops on, it's time for a reality check. Your sport bike isn't built for this. The rear seat was an afterthought, the passenger pegs are halfway to the moon, and your suspension is screaming in Morse code, "Why are you doing this to me?" If you ride two up often, whether it's your partner, your kid, or your equally delusional best friend, you need a bike with actual load capacity. A long seat, proper grab handles, adjustable preload, luggage options, brakes that don't cry under extra weight. Touring bikes, big ADVs, even some cruisers, they're designed to carry the weight without compromising comfort or safety. And they don't turn your pillion into a reluctant contortionist. The truth, two-up riding is its own skill, but it also requires the right tool. Otherwise, you're just punishing your passenger for loving you. And if they're still willing to ride with you after all that, marry them, or at least buy them a proper seat. Number 12. If you're bored with riding, try a dirt bike. You don't hate riding. You're just bored with your riding. The same roads, the same pace, the same coffee stop. You've hit the loop so many times your tires know the curves better than your brain does. But here's the fix. Throw yourself into the dirt. Literally. Off-road riding resets everything. Your ego, gone. Your traction, questionable. Your sense of control, shaken to the core. And that's the beauty of it. Dirt bikes force you to engage in every moment. No time for music, mirrors, or social media flexing. You're too busy surviving gravel, dodging trees, and trying not to kiss the ground every 12 seconds. It teaches finesse, balance, and humility in a way street riding never will. You'll fall. You'll laugh. You'll come home exhausted and filthy, grinning like a lunatic. And suddenly, motorcycles feel new again. Does it mean selling your street bike? Nope. Just add a used dirt monster to the stable. Ride trails on Sundays, and you'll look forward to the road again on Monday. Riding isn't the problem. Monotony is. And the cure might just be a muddy faceplant and a GoPro full of mistakes. Trust me, you'll fall in love with riding again the moment you fall off a dirt bike. You don't need a new helmet. You need a new perspective. Half the riders out there are frustrated, uncomfortable, or bored, not because they've fallen out of love with motorcycles, but because they're on the wrong one. The wrong type, the wrong fit, the wrong purpose. So, now that we've roasted your bike choice, what bike should you be on? That's your cue. Tell us in the comments, what do you ride now, and what do you think you should be riding? Be honest, or roast yourself. Either works. You might just inspire someone else to finally ditch that 200 horsepower backbreaker and get something that doesn't try to kill them before breakfast. See you down there.